Hello, welcome back to the chaos that is Shani and Books. Today I am going to be doing a video revolving around 5 stars. I did this last year and I got the idea from both Kayla, Books and Lala, and Meg from Meg with Books. I think Riley Marie also did it, where they did a 5-star audit of all of their recent or of all time 5-star reads and looked at the different categories that they all fit into and then predicted some 5-star books based on that. So I did this last year and I'm going to do it again with some of the categories are the same and some are new. So I'm going to take you over to what is hopefully my screen recording. My computer is, I don't know if it's on its last legs, but it is not happy with me today. Things aren't loading. But I have 9 categories here and I've thrown to the side a bunch of books that were in my favorites of the year, and then like my honorable mentions of last year, and then I have like a few 5-star books from like late last year, early this year, a couple of 4.5s. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I am not doing well for 5-star reads this year. I think I've had like, at the moment when I'm filming, I've had like 5 stars that were not a graphic novel or a non-fiction. So just 5 fiction books, and I've already read like 60 books. Those are not good odds. So yeah, most of these books were in my favorites of last year video. But yes, let us start categorizing them. I also don't know, I've made the categories already, but I kind of don't know if like all of these books kind of fit into them evenly. I just kind of thought of things that I know I like in books and I just built it around that. But regardless, anyway, the first category we have, computer, please bear with me. Okay. The first category here is set in the real world with a magical element. So when I made this, the main ones that I was thinking of is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Why is this so slow? Do I need to pause and come back? I think I need to pause and come back. Okay, hold on. Okay, I've refreshed everything. I don't know. Look, this is not the time for my computer to have a moment because my son is busy for like 5 minutes, so I don't have a lot of time. Okay, so The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches is the first one I was thinking of. Nothing to See Here is another one that kind of does this. What else? So it's like, it feels like fantasy, but not like super in a high fantasy world, if you know what I mean. So I feel like Middle Game is this as well. And Vicious, Before the Coffee Gets Cold as well. What else? Oh, The 7-Year Slip. Woke Up Like This did this. I don't know. There might be other things that I'm not like thinking of. Oh, I guess like Cackle. But you get the general idea. So that's the first category. Second one here is soft/light/cozy within the horror/fantasy/mystery genre. Originally, I just had like cozy fantasy or cozy mystery. But then I realized that I also wanted to include horror, but I guess it's not really like cozy horror. What I'm thinking is more literary horror, which I guess I'm also categorizing as like light, like horror, but like not graphic horror, just light horror. So it's a long category, but Vera Wong is a cozy mystery. Okay, Our Wives Under the Sea is like literary horror. The Center is a literary horror. Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches again. Okay, I'm gonna have to neaten these up because it's annoying me. Legends and Lattes is a cozy fantasy, but it didn't fit in the first one because it's not like, this is in a high fantasy world, but it's cozy fantasy. What else? Okay, Natural Beauty is literary horror. What else? I got the second Finley Donovan book. I don't even remember if I gave that like 4 or 5 stars. I feel like it was lower, but whatever. We're gonna put it here anyway. I'm kind of like running out of space, but you get the idea. All right. The next square is Sapphic/female bonds. Originally I just had Sapphic because I like Sapphic books, but I've added in female bonds because I do think there's a lot of female friendship in the books that I'm reading. So obviously Delilah Green Doesn't Care, my favorite romance, is a Sapphic romance. Our Wives Under the Sea is also Sapphic. You scared me. I'm almost done. But Nothing to See Here is also why I added female bonds to this category, because this is like a female friendship. I mean, some female friendships are not the best, which is, I don't really want to include those. The Center will count as well. Legends and Lattes, Not Just Gal Pals is another Sapphic romance. Chlorine, Green Fuse Burning as well, and Cackle again. Okay, I'm running out of space. I'm gonna have to make them smaller. Kiss Her Once for Me is also Sapphic. I didn't give that 5 stars, but you know, I didn't have that many highly rated books lately. All right, let's just move on to the next one. So number 4 is, I've just put Under the Sea. I haven't actually read that many books that are set literally under the sea. The one that I am thinking of is Our Wives Under the Sea. But I did realize that some of the books I've liked have like a sea or water element. So Shark Heart would count because that is a character turning into a shark. And then Chlorine has a swimming element. Black Cake is also a swimming element. I think that's all the ones that I actually have. But yeah, I did notice it was like a small theme popping up in my favorite books. So let's move on to number 5. For this one, I've just written Starting Over. By the way, I'm not up to my 5-star predictions yet. These are just the books that I have read. But if you can think of some books that fit into these that you think I would like, please leave a comment and recommend them to me. Yeah, I'll get to my predictions in a second. But yeah, for some of these, I couldn't think of that many. Or sometimes you don't know if a book fits into one of them until you've actually read it. I'm sorry, he's making noise. This is just, it's chaotic. But yeah, my next one is Starting Over because I noticed that a lot of the books that I had liked is like a character that's like moving to a new town, starting a new job, or like moving back to their hometown, stuff like that. So obviously nothing to see here is she's starting this new job caring for these kids with the Secret Society for Regular Witches. But then things like The Vanishing Half is about someone literally packing up and leaving. Natural Beauty, she's starting a new job. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to fill this one up, but it's vague, but it kind of, I think, has the message that I'm thinking. Number 6, I've just put siblings. I think I had this last time. There is a very specific sibling dynamic that I like in books because it is the sibling dynamic that I have. So the books that have the exact one that I'm talking about is Yours Truly. An older sister, younger brother. I'm pretty sure they had the exact 8-year age gap that I have with my brother. And also The Catch, they both had the exact sibling dynamic that I am thinking of. But then I've found that I also like other books that just have general sibling things. So Middle Game were twins. There was also Black Cake, which was also a brother-sister, which is more the vibe I'm going for. But I guess there's others that include just other siblings. Like I guess The Vanishing Half is also about twins, but they're twin sisters. And then I guess I could include there's ones where the main characters aren't the siblings, but there are children that are siblings. So like Nothing to See Here is about a little brother and a sister, but it's the children in the book, not the adults. So I guess that would count as well as the Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I'm really sick of saying that full title. Yeah, you get the idea with that one, I think. All right, next one I have named the category Women. I was going to leave it at that, but I've decided to put in brackets, strong, wronged, or unhinged. So for unhinged, straight away I have Yellowface that fits into this. Guess unhinged, there's also like Cackle. Chlorine, I think would be unhinged. And then strong and wronged, I think like this is where memoirs and stuff tend to come into it. So Brooke's memoir. Black Girl Unlimited is definitely wronged and strong. In the Dream House, I feel like a lot of women that I read in books would come under this. But yeah, I didn't leave the category as just women because I feel like that's every single book I read probably. But yeah, particularly if they are unhinged or if they are a woman who is wronged and or strong. All right, second last category. Single mom or a mother-child bond. I think I had this last time as well. So Delilah Green Doesn't Care has a single mum. Little Fires Everywhere has a single mum. Vera Wong, I guess that would also come under that. And I'm putting The Vanishing Half in here as well. And then some of them have like a mother-child bond, but it's not like a good bond. So I don't want like toxic mother-child. That's not really what I meant. Oh, I have forgotten about this book here. Girls Burn Brighter. That can go in the women one. All right, last one. This one, I have just labeled it art. Some are like literal like artists. So Green Fuse Burning. Vera Wong has an artist character. But then I guess there's like other types of art. So I guess I could include like music, like Delilah Green's a photographer. I guess that would also come into it. I feel like I don't have that many for this category, but it's something I only just started to notice. So I don't think I have that much to put in there. I don't know. I feel like I've probably missed some from this particular list. So maybe I'll like tidy it up and fix it up a little bit. But at the moment, that is the kind of audit of the things that I am currently noticing in reading trends. So now let's switch over to my 5-star predictions. And like I said, yeah, if you know of anything that has any of these themes, tropes, whatever in books that you think I would like, please let me know. So I have 15 here that I'm going to fit into these categories. I don't know how many they'll fit into or if they'll fit into things at all, but I think, I don't know, I've had them sitting here for a while, so I don't actually know what they fit into. But yeah, last time I did 15 predictions and I made them all BIPOC books just because for me personally that is fun and that's what I like to read anyway. This time I just did like diverse in general, so most of them I think are BIPOC, but the ones that aren't are like it has LGBT rep or something else in it if it's not BIPOC. And I'm going to need Goodreads as well because I don't think I remember the synopsis of all of them. So the first row of 5 here, I have books from authors that I have read from before. The second row is I haven't read from the author, but I have seen this book read by friends or other reviewers, etc. I've seen it around somewhere. And then the very last row is books that I haven't read from the author before and I also haven't seen anyone review it. Also, these are not like super serious 5-star predictions. Some of these, like, I kind of don't think they're going to be 5 stars anyway. This is pretty much just 15 books that I want to read that fit into these categories. Whether or not they end up being 5 stars is a different thing. But yeah, please recommend me things that fit into them, especially the ones that I don't have as many books for. They don't have to be diverse. Like, I just did that for fun for me. But yeah, any book that fits into these that you think I would like would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, let's start at the top here with the books from authors that I've read from before. The first book is A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. That's what that book's name is, isn't it? You may have noticed in the audit that the other Sangyu Mejana book that I have read fit into a lot of categories and I really, really loved it. It was in my favorites of the year. And she has a new book that was meant to come out already this year, but it's been pushed to next year. But I'm greatly anticipating it and I think I'm going to pick it for my book club. So this one, all right, A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. A witch who has a second chance to get her magical powers and her life back on track. One of the most powerful witches in Britain, then she resurrected a great Aunt Jasmine from the very recently dead, lost all her magic, befriended a semi-villainous talking fox and was exiled from her magic guild. Now she helps her aunt run the inn where she deals with her quirky guest shenanigans. When she learns about an old book that could hold the secret to restoring her power, she finds herself turning to Luke Larson, a gorgeous and icy historian who might be the only person who can help her unlock the book's mystery. Okay, so definitely I can put it into, in fact that might be the only one I can put it into, is cozy fantasy, maybe. I don't know. All right, let's move on to book 2. So this one is Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado. I read In the Dream House by this author and I loved it. That was like a memoir. This one is short stories. So it is tagged as horror. I don't know if this would come under my like light horror. I don't know how horrifying the horror is, but I'm going to put it in that one anyway. A woman refuses her husband's entreaties to remove the green ribbon from around her neck. A woman recounts her sexual encounters as a plague slowly consumes humanity. A sales clerk in a mall makes a horrifying discovery within the seams of the store's prom dresses. A woman's surgery-induced weight loss results in unwanted house guest. Swings from horrific violence to the most exquisite sentiment. In their explosive originality, these stories enlarge the possibility. Okay, so maybe it does say horrific violence, so maybe it's not as light. But I am going to put this into the women category because I do know that the first one is called The Husband Stitch. So, sorry, he's being noisy. No, my battery. All right, moving on quickly. Book number 3 is Mullumbimby. All right, Mullumbimby by Melissa Lukashenko. I have read another book by this author, but it was a few years ago, and I did put it in my favorites list, but I don't know if I read it again, would I? I'm not sure. But it is set in Australia. This is a First Nations Indigenous Australian author, I am fairly certain. Oh yes, it's tagged as Indigenous, duh. So Jo Breen uses her divorce settlement to buy a neglected property in the Byron Bay hinterland. She's hoping for tree change and a blossoming connection to the land of her Aboriginal ancestors. What she discovers instead is a sharp dissent from her teenage daughter, trouble brewing from unimpressed white neighbours, and a looming native title war between the local Bundjalung families. Okay, so I'm going to put Starting Over and also Single Mum. For sure. I'm sure like it could fit into the women category, but that's what we know for certain. So number 4, Make the Season Bright by Ashley Herring Blake. By the way, when I'm filming this, I haven't read any of these books, but I'm probably not going to post this until like months later. So in a second, I'm going to talk about some books that if you're watching this, you're like, you've already read that. Yeah, I'm filming this like pretty far in advance. And I'm planning to read this one in December. So this book has just come out and I love Ashley Herring Blake. So I'm going to, well, I know it's going to be sapphic, so we can put that in the sapphic category. And I think well, she's holding like a musical instrument, a violin, a guitar, I don't know. But I'm gonna put this in the art one, I guess, as well. I'm not certain, but I don't know. We'll keep it at that. The last one in the top row is another Ashley Herringberg. Okay, this is her book that is coming out next year. I also want to pick it for my book club, I think, but this is called Dream On, Ramona Riley. Also sapphic, so I can put it into that one straight away. Once upon a time, Ramona Riley was a student at a prestigious art school. Okay, we can put it in art. But after her father's car accident, she had to quit and return to her small New Hampshire town, Clover Lake, and help care for her younger sister. Okay, I'm going to put siblings. And then the other character is Dylan Monroe. Has always lived an unconventional life, having famous rock icons for parents, but she wants to prove that she's not some chaotic, talentless Nepo baby. She has actual skills, that she's just a normal person. She takes on a project at a charming lake town. She even works at the town's cafe. Okay, I'm going to put this in starting over. Don't know if that's right, but okay. See, I haven't read these books, so I don't know exactly if they fit perfectly, but we're moving on. Right, second row. Books that I haven't read from the authors before, but I've seen the book around. First one, My Sister the Serial Killer. I would have read this by the time you're watching this video because I picked it for my book club. A distress call from my sister. Okay, that's right. Okay, I just wanted to double check that it's about exactly what I think. The sister keeps killing her boyfriends and then she has to keep cleaning up. So I will put this into siblings, definitely. And I don't know what exactly else. I guess women, because there is an unhinged woman definitely in this if she keeps killing people. So next in this row we have Sorryland. This one's tagged as fantasy, horror, fiction, queer. Fern, 7 months pregnant and desperate to escape the strict religious compound where she was raised. Okay, so I'm going to put it in single mom as well as starting over. There she gives birth to twins and plans to raise them far from the influence of the outside world. Also, it's tagged as fantasy, but it doesn't seem like it's in a fantastical world. So I'm guessing it's set in the real world. So I'm going to put it in this first one, set in the real world with a magical element, I guess. All right, next in this row, we have That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, which again, I would have read by the time you're watching this. One I also picked for my book club, so you, as you're watching this, may already know whether this is a 5-star or not. I don't know that it will be. I just think this one's going to be fun. So this one is going to go in like the cozy fantasy category, I believe. That might be all that it has in it. Pretty much I just put it in there because for fans of Legends and Lattes, and I honestly don't think it fits into anything else, but I've added it to this list anyway. That's probably a risky choice. But number 4 in this row is Can't Spell Treason Without Tea, which I also would have read by the time you've watched this. This one I honestly haven't seen like that many or any of my friends reading beforehand, but I've seen it online because I follow the author on TikTok. So oh my god, I'm just realizing that one of the main characters' names is like my son's name with like extra letters in the end. Don't love that. Did not know that. Okay, well this is obviously going into cozy fantasy, and also I think it's sapphic, so it's going into both. There might not be anything else. They open a bookshop that serves tea. An assassin takes one of the characters hostage. A cozy tale of mishaps, mysteries, and the murderous queen. I think that's basically all the categories for this one. So last one in this row. Woman Eating by Claire Coda. All right, this one I'm pretty certain is literary horror. It's tagged as horror. It's also tagged as literary fiction. So I'm going to put it into this like light horror, literary horror category. A young mixed race vampire must find a way to balance her deep-seated desire to live amongst humans with her incessant hunger. Okay, hold on. So that puts it into set in the real world with a magical element as well, because she's in the real world and she's a vampire. What else? That's maybe it. There are the humans, the other artists at the studio space. Oh, right. So we can put it in the art category. As she develops as a woman and an artist, she learns that she must reconcile the conflicts within her between her demon and human sides, her mixed ethnic heritage, and her relationship with food, and in turn humans, if she is to find a way to exist in the world. I suppose, like, I don't know, if you've read this book, you can maybe tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to put it in, I think I'm going to put it in the women category. I'm not sure if she's unhinged. I don't know what she's going to do, but I'm putting it there. We're on to our last row now. The final row is the books that I've never heard anyone talk about. I've just heard about them and I want to add them to this list. First up, we have Notes on Her Color. Okay, my camera died, so the angle is probably different. Where was I up to? Okay, Notes on Her Color. She has inherited the ability to change the color of her skin from her mother. So from that, I'm going to put it in set in the real world with a magical element, because I'm assuming that it's set in the real world. She can just change her skin color. Oh, well, it says magical realism, so yeah. She plays piano. That's in here somewhere. I think that's why it's on the cover, correct? The Color of Her Blood is a novel where the strange and surreal meets the kitsch of Florida. It explores the dynamic of a family traumatized by racial violence in North America. A glittering, corrosive, witty tale about race, privilege, music, and queerness. I'm going to put it in art. No, my computer's slowing down again. I'm not going to put it in the mother-child bond because I don't know if it's like a toxic mother-daughter thing. So I don't know. Next on this row. Oh, Marigold Mind Laundry. This one I'm considering picking for my book club next year, simply because I love translated stuff at the moment and it's pretty easy to find in Australia at least. And it sounds really, really interesting. She is born with powers. She accidentally causes her family to vanish. And so now she is working in this laundry. So its service is to remove the deepest pain from our hearts. She listens while the customers share their unhappy memories. And as they speak, she transfers their sadness onto t-shirts as stains. After a spin in the washing machine, the stains become flower petals that soar into the air. And her customers find solace. It sounds really beautiful. So I'm going to put it set in the real world with a magical element. And I don't know what else. I'm going to leave it at that just in case. I don't really know. Next up, we have The Kamagama Food Detectives. Another translated book. I do own this one. I bought it for my birthday, I think, which is another like magical realism one. It's also tagged as cozy mystery. Some of these tags are not always correct, but it's, yeah, fiction, mystery, Japan. Okay, so it's set in this restaurant run by this girl and her father. They serve up deliciously extravagant meals. The father-daughter duo are food detectives. Oh, duh, of course it's cozy mystery. The detective is in the title. Shani, oh my god. They're able to recreate dishes from a person's treasured memories, dishes that well hold the keys to their forgotten past and future happiness. The restaurant of lost recipes provides a link to vanished moments, creating a present full of possibilities. Wait, so is it magical realism? They are able to recreate dishes from a person's treasured memories. Are they doing that through magic or just like general food recreation? Okay, whatever. Regardless, I'm putting it in that category, even if it's wrong. Set in the real world with a magical element. I'm also going to put it into the cozy mystery one because it is a mystery. What else? Anything? Maybe not. Next up, second last one is The Abandoned Queens. I checked out this book from the library when it first came out. I think it was in the debut section of the Goodreads Choice Awards. Yes, it is. Debut novel, 2023. Okay. Oh, so it was only last year. Okay, so I checked it out from the library last year and I read like a chapter and then I had to give it back, so I did not finish it. But I do feel like it has the potential based on its themes. I don't think it's a cozy mystery, but it is a mystery and I'm going to put it in that section anyway because I don't know, when I put this category, it doesn't have to be exactly cozy mystery, but I just mean like not a thriller or a scary mystery. But this definitely gives me vibes of Finlay Donovan based on the synopsis. So her husband disappears 5 years ago. She didn't kill him, but everyone thinks she did, no matter how much she protests. She soon discovers that being known as the self-made widow has some surprising perks. No one messes with her, no one threatens her, and no one tries to marry her. It's even been good for her business. No one wants to risk getting in her bad side by not buying her jewelry. Women in her village start asking her to help them get rid of their no good husbands, but not all of them are asking nicely. So it's kind of like Finlay Donovan where she accidentally like stumbles into this life. Like people just assume she killed her husband, so now they're like, hey, can you kill mine? So for that reason is why I think it could be a 5-star prediction, just the premise. But I don't want to compare it to Finlay Donovan too much because I don't think it's the same vibe at all. So I'm going to put it in the women, strong, wronged, and unhinged. Why is that so hard to pronounce for me? I don't know that she's a single mom because no children were mentioned. And I also don't know about starting over. I feel like it could fit into starting over, but I'm not sure. But very final book on the list, I have The Mermaid of Black Conch. This one, again, like I said, this whole bottom row is books that I haven't seen. Not that I haven't seen before, like that I haven't seen. I'm not reading it because of the recommendation of someone else. I just stumbled upon it. And I don't remember where I saw this one, maybe a list, or I know my library has it, so unless I just saw it at the library. 1976, David is fishing off the island of Black Conch when he comes upon a creature he doesn't expect, a mermaid. Once a beautiful young woman, she was cursed by jealous wives to live in this form for the rest of her days. But after the mermaid is caught by American tourists, David rescues and hides her away in his home, finding that once out of water, she begins to transform back into a woman. Now David must work to win her trust while she relearns what it is to be human, navigating not only her new body but also her new relationship with others on the island, a difficult task after centuries of loneliness. lingering question remains, will the former mermaid be able to escape her curse? Taking on many points of view, this mythical adventure tells the story of one woman's return to land, her healing, and her survival. Basically, this was on here because I didn't have any under the sea books to add, so if you have any under the sea books to recommend to me, please leave them below. So I'm going to put that here because it is a mermaid book. I'm going to also put it into the women category, and set in the real world with a magical element. So those are my 15 predictions, 5 from authors I've read before, 5 from authors that I haven't read from before but that I've seen other people reviewing and enjoying, and 5 that I have never seen anyone that I can remember reading. And the little categories that they fit into my audit. I know I've said it a million times, but if you have any books to recommend to me, please do so. It's not a super serious 5-star prediction because some of these likely aren't going to be 5 stars. This was just for fun. These were just 15 books that I want to read that happen to fit into these categories. Stay tuned for whether they do or not. I would have definitely, by the time you're watching this, have read 3 or 4 of them. You'll know the answer to better than I do right now or whether they were 5 stars. And also 3 of these books that I mentioned, no, actually 4. There's 4 that I'm planning on using for my book club next year. So if any of those books intrigue you, stay tuned because we can read them together and discuss them together. But yes, thank you for watching. I appreciate you very much for being here, and I will see you next time.